what we will be doing in this trick is we will be counting the lines in a FASTQ file that is already compressed by gzip, which is a very common way of storing this type of files. So let's do that. So we know that we have here this FASTQ file. Let's split it as before. Let's split it in 10 parts, which will produce the same results as before, right? So let's split n equal 10 FASTQ file, and that again produce 10 files. Each of them will be 100,000 lines, and we will use again the cycle 4 file in anything that start with x, do echo file. Always use echo to test that your loop is not doing anything dangerous, and then we can see that it's doing what is expected. So we will move that each of those files to a new file with the same name but with a suffix fq, and now we have sq file. Okay, what we will do now is I will be compressing all those files. It will take probably a few seconds, and then gzip whatever start with x and finishes with fq. And now you can see here in red all the files that were compressed. And if we try to count the files, so compressed files are not in a readable form anymore. They are in a sort of binary format. And if I try to count the line of that file, it says that it has 18,400 lines, which is wrong, because we made them 100,000 each, right? So what we will be doing here is we will iterate along all the files that end with the extension gc, and then we'll say for file in anything that starts with x and finishes with gc. Do again use always echo to check that your cycle is not doing something dumb, and that's okay. We are just iterating. So what we will doing in this loop, inside of that loop, is we will say echo, and then echo is a program that will print on the screen whatever comes inside of these quotation marks. But because those files are compressed, instead of using cat, and then we will be using, I am using this to assign or to capture the results of these operations I am going to do inside of the $sign and the parentheses. I am going to say ccat, which will deploy each of those files, and once they are in a readable form, I will pipe and say word count lines, counts the number of lines. And if I only do that, what will happen is that I will only see the numbers corresponding to each of the files. We can test it if you guys want, and then that's correct, but it's not informative, right? It's not informative because we don't know to which file it corresponds. So after a parenthesis, which is capturing the results of the operation, I can tell this little program to find to print the name of each of the files, and now it makes a little bit more sense, right?